All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Meteorologist Drew Davis alongside with you. Welcome to the Drew Point. This is our second episode of a new venture that we're starting here at Hawaii News Now. This is a live-streamed weather show, long-form weather. We're going to be getting as into the weeds, into the weather forecast as we possibly can, especially ahead of a chance for heavy rainfall that's going to be moving in Saturday evening, Sunday, and sticking around into Monday. So if you're watching, we are going to be answering questions that you might have in the YouTube chat and Facebook live chat. You'll be able to ask me questions. I'll do my best to answer them live on stream. It's a very exciting new project. You're watching The Drew Point. Yes, that's a fun little intro that our marketing and creative departments team made here at Hawaii News Now. Again, we are going to get into the weeds here on the Drew Point. So again, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer questions for you. We do have a chance for heavier rainfall as we're going into this weekend. Let's just get right into it. I always like to start out my forecasts by taking a look at our first alert radar and satellite and kind of taking a look at current conditions as well. A great meteorologist that I once knew, one of my professors in meteorology school, told me to always start by taking a look out the window. You can take a look at our first alert radar and satellite. It has been very nice outside today. Yesterday was very nice as well. Very cool as you're waking up earlier in the morning. Not seeing much rainfall. Let's just zoom into each island. Overall, relatively quiet. If anything, we might see a few sprinkles over on the southeastern side of Hawaii Island, but relatively sunny out there today and relatively clear and cool. The thing is, we're watching a developing low-pressure system in the northern Pacific Ocean. If I zoom out a little bit further, you can see this. This is right up here in the northern Pacific Ocean. It is south of the Aleutian Islands right now, and you can see the counterclockwise rotation associated with it. This cold front that's attached to this low-pressure system in the northern Pacific Ocean is going to be moving closer to us as we're going into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, really arriving closer to Friday, potentially bringing a chance for heavy rainfall, isolated thunderstorms, and a flooding threat as well. This is going to continue moving down the island chain as we're going forward, and it looks pretty strong out there right now, but it's still pretty far out, so there's a lot of uncertainty in the weather models on what exactly is going to happen. So let's just get right into it and start taking a look at the data. Seems like one of the comments on Facebook is saying, as long as there's power for the Super Bowl, Bobby, I am absolutely in agreement with you. I want to be able to watch the big game as well. I want to make sure that everybody can see it, especially with a chance for rain on Sunday, maybe even some thunderstorms out there. I do want to say what we're expecting with this system is an upper level low pressure system to be hanging around just kind of off to the west and southwest of the state, meaning this is going to be a relatively scattered rainfall event. It's not going to be a widespread heavy rainfall event. I'm thinking most of the rainfall, at least in the weather models right now, pointing towards this being focused over windward neighborhoods rather than leeward and interior areas. And there's a saying in meteorology as well, an upper level low is a weatherman's woe. It's very hard to fine tune where exactly there's going to be heavy rain. It's more so just taking a look at the trend. So here's what we're tracking out there. Cool and mostly dry until Friday. Going to be waking up a little bit chilly early Thursday morning as well. It was in the mid to low 60s out there earlier today. Extra large northwest swells today and Friday. We are under a high surf warning for north and west facing shores. That is going to be on the decline. Another swell is going to be arriving as we're going into Friday and Saturday. And then there's the cold front moving in this weekend, giving us a good chance for some heavy rainfall out there. A quick look at our first alert surf conditions. Again, a high surf warning up for the north and west facing shores of Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, the north facing shores of Maui as well. Alongside the Kona side of the Big Island, there is a high surf advisory along the north-facing shores of the Big Island. This is going to last until 6 p.m. this evening. It's still pretty choppy out there. Small craft advisories. Tropicals in the chat. Brada Drew, thanks for tuning in, Tropical. I know you had some questions on our social media page yesterday. You wanted to ask about El Nino. There'll be some question and answer opportunity at the end once we get through all of the data. Again, it's pretty choppy out there. Ocean conditions, seas anywhere between 8 to 12 feet tonight until 6 a.m. on Thursday. That's how long this small craft advisory is going to last. No longer under a gale warning. And let's take a look at the big picture, the overall weather pattern. You might have noticed that it was very dry, very cool as you're waking up early this morning. Definitely extra blanket weather last night. We've got this mass of dry air that moved over us. The driest of the air is actually moving down to the southwest of us. It is going to be warming up pretty quickly. We're going to start to see Kona winds as we're going into Thursday evening and Friday, just pulling up more instability and moisture from the south. The water vapor satellite imagery, what you're taking a look at, is not showing us the water content at the surface. It is showing us the water at the mid-levels in the atmosphere. So we're really not seeing what's going on at the surface right here. That's when we're going to take a look at the dew point, because we're already seeing dew points start to climb back up. In Honolulu, around 56 degrees, pretty dry for Hawaii standards, 59 in Kahului, 62 in Kailua Kona. All this is just a measure of moisture at the surface. And let's take a look at our temperature futurecast as well. I want to show you how cool we're going to be as we're going into early Thursday morning. So this afternoon, still getting up into the upper 70s, low 80s out there. Going to be seeing temperatures dropping down pretty quickly to the mid 70s by around 6 p.m. and then getting to the mid 60s as you're waking up early tomorrow morning. Here's the lows tomorrow morning, around 65 in Lihue, 67 over in Honolulu, 64 over in Lanai City. Tropical saying it was so cold since we've got all that dry air. Yeah, it's pretty cold out there the past couple of days. Definitely chilly. I had a sweatshirt on this morning. All right, here's a look at what we're expecting going into Thursday afternoon, getting back up into the mid-70s. But again, the weather is going to change really quickly. We're going to start to see those Kona winds building in, bringing in moisture and humidity into the atmosphere ahead of this next front. Now let's take a look at our surface pressure. Again, we are going to be tracking this front. Currently, there's that low pressure system that we took a look at the beginning of the show. It's off to the northwest of us. This is what's going to be dragging the cold front our way, and it's going to be moving closer to us as we're going into this weekend, bringing the chance for rainfall out there. And the thing is, behind this, you are going to be seeing very strong high pressure developing to the north of us. So at the surface, we're going to be seeing that cold front come, and then we're going to be seeing strong northeasterly winds. The mid and upper levels have lower pressure, meaning we could be seeing those scattered heavy showers out there. We're going to start to see southerly winds by the time we go into Thursday, a little bit more southeasterly over on the eastern parts of the island chain. Cold front moves down, southerly winds on Friday. Pretty breezy southerly winds expected ahead of this front's arrival. I don't think they'll be as breezy as what we were seeing earlier this week. And then there's that high pressure system that you can see developing to the north of us. This is going to be a clockwise rotation of air around this high pressure system, bringing strong northeasterlies, anywhere between 20 to 30 miles per hour out there. And again, we've got heavy rainfall associated with it. So these northeasterlies is going to be pushing up a lot of moisture along the windward side of each island. And there is a chance for rainfall statewide, but it seems like a bulk of the rainfall will be over windward areas and the upper level lows, and mid and upper levels, allowing those thunderstorm chances. Let's actually move up a little bit higher in the atmosphere. I want to show you the mid-levels to show you what's going on. We've got ridging over us right now, kind of keeping us dry. Then we're going to be watching this trough, lower pressure off to the northwest of us, that's going to be dipping down off to the west and northwest of us. So let's just take a look. This is Thursday. It's getting further southward. And we could be seeing a low cutting off from the trough at the mid-levels by the time we go into Sunday morning, late Saturday night into Sunday morning. The placement of this low on Sunday and the mid and upper levels is going to be crucial to this forecast, and that's why we continue to have to fine-tune the details on this. Vanessa is saying, I'll be in Maui on Monday. It seems like you might see a little bit of lingering moisture out there. The bulk of it seems to be Saturday night into Sunday. Like I was saying, Barbara is saying single digits here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I would love to have your weather. I know a lot of people out here somebody said it best in one of my comments yesterday. We're temp wimps. As soon as it gets into the 60s, we all laugh about it, but it is cold for Hawaii standards. We're not used to getting that chilly out here. All right, so again, let's take a look at the mid-level flow. You can see, again, we've got this low. The placement of this is going to be very crucial. If it's further west, we're going to be seeing less of a chance for heavy rainfall. If it's further east, we're going to be seeing a higher chance for heavy rainfall. And it could cut off from this trough, moving down to the southwest, going into Sunday and Monday. Conditions improving Monday evening into Tuesday as high pressure builds into the north at the mid-levels. This is also happening at the upper levels. Let's just take a look. We've got Wednesday, Thursday, ridging high pressure over us, keeping us pretty nice, but again, at the surface, things are starting to change. We're seeing those southerly and southwesterly winds. Then this long wave trough is dipping down from the north. So we're seeing the jet stream acting up a little bit in the northern Pacific Ocean. And just downstream of this, in meteorology, we are looking at the downstream of these long wave troughs. So this area right here, there's going to be something going on called upper level divergence, meaning air is going to be moving away from this point in the trough right here, meaning air from the surface in the mid-levels is going to have to be rushing upwards to cause to fill the void from the diverging air at that point in the upper levels. So when we're having that dynamic lift moving upwards, you're getting upward motion in the atmosphere. That's helping develop these thunderstorms, helping develop the chance for heavy rainfall. So we're seeing a lot of the ingredients coming together going into Saturday evening with that area of upper level divergence directly over the island chain. And then we're seeing this low that could cut off at the upper levels as well going into Monday, moving away from us, conditions improving going into Monday evening and Tuesday. Now let's take a look at our first alert futurecast because you can see all of this playing out. You can already see the front off to the northwest of us. This is specifically is the European weather model. This is going to be moving down pretty quickly as we're going into Friday and Saturday. Getting closer to us, this is around Friday, 7 a.m. You're already starting to see the winds shift to be out of the east and southeast, or southeasterly over the eastern half of the state, more southwesterly over near Kauai. It moves down to Kauai late Friday night, and then you're seeing lingering moisture Saturday. Again, this is an upper level system, so it's going to be relatively scattered. It's not going to be for everybody. Right now, it seems like a lot of the moisture is going to be over windward areas out there. And then you can see the actual cutoff low off to the southwest, pulling away from us, a lot of the moisture getting pushed up against windward slopes and windward areas. Conditions improving going into the middle of next week. Now let's give you a look at the local view. You get a little bit more detail here. Again, this is still the European weather model. Nice weather out there. As we see these Kona winds develop going into early Thursday morning, you're seeing showers getting pulled in towards Oahu. It's around 10 p.m. on Thursday. Still some showers possible over windward Hawaii Island. Not a ton of rainfall, but still a chance for showers with these Kona winds, light rainfall. Then the front moves down towards Kauai as we're going to late Friday evening into Saturday. More scattered rainfall expected on early Saturday morning. And then as we slow this down, you're still seeing heavy rainfall Saturday afternoon. The furthest intensification where all of the ingredients are lining up, it just happens to be late Saturday night into Sunday. We have first alert weather days in place for Saturday night into Sunday, and heavy rainfall and isolated thunderstorms is possible. You'll notice a lot of it is off to the southwest of us. If anything, these northeasterly winds are going to be pushing up some moisture along the windward sides of each island. Continues into Monday. Conditions improve going into Tuesday. So overall, it looks like it's going to be a wet weekend ahead. We're watching this pretty closely. Still pretty far out in the weather models, but we're starting to see some of the ingredients come together. That's why we've issued that first alert weather day. Let's just take a look at the American model, the GFS out there, showing you what's going on. Scattered showers riding in along the Kona winds going into Thursday. Kona winds developing throughout Thursday, getting more southwesterly Thursday evening. Showers moving in towards Oahu and Maui County. The actual front is moving down Saturday. Again, we've got the upper level support, so pop-up showers, pop-up thunderstorms are possible. The strongest of the system is expected to be late Saturday night into Sunday. Possible thunderstorms over windward Maui, windward Oahu, maybe even along the Hamakua coast of Hawaii Island. So we're watching this pretty closely. The further west you go, the closer you are going to be to the center of that low pressure system at the mid and upper levels. So it is possible the further west you go, the more rainfall you will get. And I'll show you that in our totals futurecast, or rainfall totals coming up in a bit. You can see conditions will improve going to Monday evening, but still some scattered rainfall out there. So just a wet and active weekend ahead. Let's take a look at some of the chat. All right. Seems like everybody is no questions, but again, if you guys have questions, I'm totally open to answering questions for you guys. I want to make sure that we're the point of the show is to be as transparent and forthcoming as possible with the weather forecast, showing you all the data that we're seeing. so you can be able to see it as well. All right, let's take a look at our rainfall totals from yesterday. Again, we did see a few showers early on the 3rd from that front that moved in late Monday night. You can see a few showers over towards the northern portions of Hawaii Island along the Hamakua coast. A few sprinkles out there over the southeastern side of the Big Island. This is, of course, data from our partners at Manoa. The Hawaii Climate Data Portal has created a great data visualization set that you can take a look at and actually see more variables besides just rainfall totals. This is based on their work at the Hawaii Mesonet. They've done a great work putting all this together, helping us fight being pretty data sparse here in the island chain. The Hawaii Mesonet's really helping us out in our forecasting abilities. You can see more rainfall closer to an inch over on West Maui Mountain, South Maui, and also over Lanai and windward Molokai, closer to about half an inch of rainfall. Oahu and Kauai didn't see much rainfall yesterday. It was very dry because of that dry air moving in. Miguel's saying blackouts for Sunday. I don't know if we're going to be seeing blackouts. That's not something that I specifically can forecast. Again, we could be seeing strong winds, so that, of course, could impact power lines. So that's something that we could be seeing. I'm really hoping that we don't see. I don't think we'll be seeing. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't think we could be forecasting for blackouts necessarily, but strong winds could impact power lines. Heavy rainfall is possible that could impact the power situation. I don't think it'll impact us that much. It seems like by the time the Super Bowl is going on, it'll be more so just kind of a scattered rainfall event. It's late Saturday night into Sunday. Kid needs more on-screen practice, says Colin. I'll do my best, Colin. I'm going to try and be better for just you specifically. All right, here's a look at our rainfall accumulation going forward. We can see a few pop-up showers over windward Oahu and windward Maui out there, windward Hawaii Island. Then the rainfall totals really start to pop up and go in further in time, seeing really high totals. So over in Honolulu, going into Saturday and Sunday, you're going to see the rainfall totals really jump up. 4 inches from now until 3 p.m. on Monday, 5 inches over in Honolulu, 2.5 over in Kahului, 3.5 in Pukalani. This is why we are talking about this heavy rainfall event now. Again, focused over windward areas, windward Maui, windward Kauai, windward Hawaii Island, and windward Oahu. Again, it's relatively scattered with the upper level dynamics going on. So it could be sunny and clear on another part of the island, and it could be just pouring buckets elsewhere. All right, here's a look at our winds outside right now. Easterlies and southeasterlies out there, 10 miles per hour in Honolulu out of the southeast. We're already starting to see the shift going on. Northeasterlies over in Hilo, southerlies in Lihue around 9 miles per hour. And here's our European weather model wind cast. Again, winds are going to start to be more southwesterly going into Thursday. Let's just take a look at that. You can see overall pretty light winds, but then they start to get breezy and southwesterly going into Thursday afternoon. And then Friday around 3 a.m., still between 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the southwest. Then the front starts to move in late Friday. All right, our first alert VOG forecast. You can see a light VOG out there hanging around the state. Widespread haze really in the forecast going forward with these Kona winds returning. You can see may not reach all the way up towards Kauai, but we are going to be seeing more VOG and haze in the sky going into Thursday as it continues to seep out of Halima'uma'u crater. And then you can see it starts to clear out with the Kona winds pushing a lot of it off towards the northeast, and then seeing more thick VOG over towards the windward side of Hawaii Island, Hilo, over towards Kalapana, and the northeastern sides of the Big Island, again, closer to the Hamakua coast. All right, let's break down our first alert surf forecast, because, again, we do have a high surf warning out there right now for north and west-facing shores. 12 to 16 feet, west-facing shores around 8 to 12 for your Thursday morning. We are on the decline out there. South-facing shores around 1 to 3, east-facing shores around 1 to 3. And let's take a look at this next swell that's going to be coming in. So we've got a northwest swell between 310 degrees and 320 degrees. This is going to be near warning. We might see high surf warnings go up again with this next swell, anywhere between 10 to 15 feet for face values. Period between medium period about 14 seconds. Late Friday night, it's going to hold through Saturday. Energy is 2,500 to 3,000 kilojoules, slowly easing as we're going into Saturday. And let's take a look at that swell forecast, because that energy is off towards the southeast. We'll likely see the high surf warning taken down around 6 p.m. this evening. That's when it's slated to end. Another one coming in Friday. That's that large one that could be near warning level. Running through our tide tables as well, you can see around 6:09 a.m. Tomorrow morning in Honolulu Harbor, 1.5 feet above mean sea level. Moving down to Kahului, around 2 feet above mean sea level at 4:31 a.m. Here's the high tides and the low tides over on Hawaii Island for Hilo Bay and Kona. And then a look at the tides for Kauai. Just a quick note that we are going to start seeing more box jellyfishes. Fishes moving in for Monday. Starting to see them running up on Oahu, south and west facing shores going into Monday and Tuesday of next week. And here's a look at your island by island forecast. Kauai seeing widespread haze, mostly sunny conditions. Again, southwesterlies out there between 5 to 15 miles per hour. The further east you go, the more fog you'll see in the sky. Isolated showers, widespread haze out there. 81 in town, waking up around 67. All right. And then moving down to Maui County, widespread haze and sunny conditions. Calm winds, southerlies between 5 to 10 miles per hour. 83 in Kahului, 66 in Kihei, 82 in the afternoon out there. So still waking up pretty cold for Hawaii standards. 83 in Kailua Kona, 70 for a low out there. And then the eastern side of Hawaii Island, 83 in Hilo. South-southwesterly winds between 5 to 10 miles per hour. East and southeasterlies in the afternoon. Mostly sunny, northern portions of Hawaii Island, widespread haze, calm and westerly, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. All right, let's take some time to actually take a look at the chat to see if we have any questions. This is the time to ask questions. I can answer what you guys have. All right. Thank you guys for watching the YouTube forecast every night. I really appreciate that. It seems like a lot of people are really enjoying tuning into those. Let's check the YouTube chat. All right. Tropical, I know you had a question about El Nino. I'm ready to answer those if you want to type that in the chat. Anybody else have any questions about this weekend? I can try and give you some insight about what we're expecting out there. Again, we've got an active weekend of weather ahead. If no questions pop in, we'll end the show here. All right. Okay, now I don't see any questions coming in, so I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys again for tuning in. This is a very fun project that we're working on here. Okay, Tropical does have a question. I've seen that big blob of hot water that we say we're going to be in the El Nino. Seems like it would steer hurricanes right at us. So right now, we are technically in a La Nina. So again, we are going to be, the prediction right now from the Climate Prediction Center is that we are going to be in a neutral phase by the time we get to spring of this year, late spring. Let me actually pull up the data so I can read to you what exactly they have out there, because we are starting to see El Nino, you know, in the models, in the long range models showing up, and unfortunately that does mean a very active hurricane center season for us. All right, let me pull up the Climate Prediction Center's website. Okay, so La Nina persists, followed by a 75% chance of a transition to INSO-neutral, meaning the neutral phase between La Nina and El Nino, during January and March of 2026. INSO-neutral is likely through at least the northern hemisphere, late spring of 2026. Some long-range models are hinting that we're going to be going towards El Nino, which does mean higher hurricane chances. Let's actually look at the impacts. I have a document. So it means we'll be seeing more rain in the beginning of the wet season, then rapidly less. A drier wet season when we were seeing El Nino out there. Weaker trade winds with some westerly winds out there. Sea levels a little bit near to slightly above normal. Ocean conditions much warmer at and below the surface. Of course, that warmer water moves closer to us. And then tropical cyclones. Again, that's the big one with El Nino alongside the eddy. We typically see the eddy run during El Nino years. Increased risk, storms form closer and move towards the islands. It wouldn't necessarily steer hurricanes closer to us, tropical. That's more so just how the high pressure to the north of us sets up, and if it's strong enough or if it's set up to really drive it closer to the state. The waters are just there to form, are just there for forming the system, rather. It's not necessarily the driving force of where exactly the storm is going to go. That's more so a atmospheric thing that's going on that we really can't predict that far out. All right, I think that's about it. We are going to be tracking more rainfall going into this weekend. Thank you again for everybody tuning in. And I will see you guys on the 4 p.m. newscast coming up. All right, thank you for tuning in to the Drew Point.